So do not underestimate the power of your relationships. The right relationship coming to you carries with it the right marketing strategy for your business. In other words, you want to grow your business, and that's a priority because as part of your convergence is stewarding what God called you to do and ignite as a business community. And the house is the ecclesia. It's the relationships that come together to create a supernatural container for the purposes of God. A house is 3 or more relationships, 2 or 3 relationships, where Jesus is in the midst of them, and you're in convergence as a micro group. In your business, your company should be in convergence. Your fellowship should be in convergence, because what I'd said to you about Joshua and Caleb is the group went in to the promised land when they got the second shot. And I think that right now the church is a little bit more mature in some ways. I think we can cross over into possessing land before that we missed. So you need to be looking at convergence for Ignite. You need to be looking at convergence for your company. And you can only do that if you're in personal convergence. And the 2 things the Lord told me to tell you is endure the contradiction and don't freak out when you end up in contradiction. So when Joseph went down to Egypt in chapter 39 of Genesis, now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Chapter 39 says that God put Joseph in a contradiction of circumstances, but the Lord was with him. What you want to do is make sure the presence of God is with you. Make sure your conscience is at peace with God. Make sure that where you're at isn't something you put yourself out that you can get yourself out of, but rather where you're at is where the Father wants you. Because the Lord is with Joseph. After Joseph goes down to Egypt, now he gets accused of rape. Terrible challenge there. In verse 20, the master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison, but the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy, gave him favor in the sight of the keepers of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed everything to Joseph's hand. So at every stage in the journey of where you are, deal with the contradiction as though the Lord is with you. And if the Lord is with you, then he's going to increase your proximity to your ultimate assignment, increase your favor, and give you greater responsibility. All these things are happening when you're in that personal person. Value the relational capacity, because to you, God's building his house, and his house is made up of relationships. Secondly, don't mistake the fact that he's building relationships in order to build a wall and occupy a gate. It's not just that you can have fellowship and presence. It's that you can be engaged in the assignment he has for you.